Yeah. What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the Big Time Show podcast that is being seen and heard live right now as we speak. My goodness, what is going on here today? Look, I don't know how y'all feel about it, but I am excited to once again come and hang with some of you guys on today. What's going on, everybody? Let me share this now. Let me share this now with you guys. I'm sharing right now, and I'm way behind. So I hope that you guys will allow me to share real quick for those that are here. Um, it's hot outside. Y'all know that. I don't know what part of the country you live in, but let me tell you something. Right here in Memphis, Tennessee, it's ridiculous. You know, we've had here in Memphis over the last couple of days heat indexes that have reached probably right around 105, 107, and really depending on where you are in Memphis in the surrounding area. But the bottom line is it is just it's disrespectful hot. Y'all, it is just disrespectful hot. I mean, it's you don't even want to go to the mailbox. That's how bad it is. You look, you'll just catch up at night. You you ain't going in the day. And here's the funny part here in Memphis, and I'm not kidding y'all. I was just I was out, I think yesterday, and it was about 6:45. Do you know that my dashboard still read over 100 degrees? That's the heat index combined with the temperature. It was still over 100 degrees. And it's almost 7 o'clock at night. I mean, it is ridiculous. It's just horrible, disrespectful heat. I don't even want to go outside. You know what I'm saying? Back when I was younger, that didn't bother me. Man, I'm old. I'm almost 50 years old. I look, no, no. If hell is this hot, I don't want to go. I look, this little small 100-degree temperature is enough for me. I don't want to go. It's hot. It's hot. Now I know if you're in Texas, I know you share my same sentiment. I know you do. I already know. You ain't got to tell me. I know. If you stay in anywhere in the South, you understand, unless you stay, close to the border, like Louisiana, that type of stuff. I get it. But Lord have mercy, y'all people that's on the West Coast and Florida and all that kind of stuff, y'all got it made. Look, we trying to get down there with y'all just to get a breather from here. It is different. Look, flies don't even want to fly. It's just that hot. We saw a fly in the house, and a fly was in there. I opened up the door for him. He looked at me and said, "Hey man, you crazy? Let's close that door. I'm staying here. I'm gonna fly. When y'all eating next?" I feel pretty good. How y'all doing, man? Look, I'm about to look and see who all here and speak and everything else. I'm coming. I'm coming. I'm coming. Hello to everybody that's on Podbean as well. The home of the spot of the Big Time Show podcast. And then also the Spotlight Sports Network, which is the second home of the podcast. I appreciate those that have decided to come in and hang with me for a little bit as we talk today about Freestyle Friday. I'm not looking at the screen. You guys will dominate the show. I only got one thing that I want to throw out. And then the rest of the show, y'all got it. Whatever y'all want to talk about that's cowboy related, here I am to give you my humble and somewhat qualified opinion. How about that? Somewhat. Some folks think I know what I'm talking about. Then there are others that don't think I know halfway nothing. You know what I'm saying? So whichever side of the fence you want to go with, go ahead and get your thoughts and questions together now, or just your whatever you want to talk about. And hopefully we'll be able to get a little clarity, get some understanding on the day about more cowboy issues as we get closer and closer and closer to training camp. We are under 70 days away. Uh, it's time. It's time, y'all. It's almost time. What's up, Coach? I see you there. What's up, Coach? I see you. Greg, what's up? Bishop Greg, what's up? Let me see. Stephen White, what's up? Yeah, yeah. All the heat. Who is that there? BAL, what's going on? Raider fan. Oh yeah. Yeah. Okay, here we go. What's going on? Cedric Moore, my brother, little brother. What's going on? I see you done popped in here. You're 49er fans, but I know you could care less about Cowboy talk. You just coming in to support me. I appreciate that, man. I appreciate it. Listen, here's what I want to talk about. Just one thing, and you guys can talk about it. I don't care what it is. Cowboy related. I don't care. Now, if you coming on here talking about the 49ers and Craig Burton just came in, you come here talk about the Giants, I'm not gonna answer you. I'm just gonna go and tell you that right now. If you're not, look, if you coming in here talking about anything Cowboys, we can talk. If you talking about the look, go to find your 49er, Giant, Eagle, whoever you are, Steelers, whatever, Bengals, Buccaneers. Y'all find them bloggers. I don't talk about them guys. Okay, so don't ask me about that unless the Cowboys are playing them. Then I'll talk about that. I will. Here's what I want to talk about. Yes, sir, Stephen White. We in the same kind of. Oh, I got education in that. I got Coach Price here, Coach Marv, and then I got Steven. He's Dallas Cowboy for life. He said he been a life of Cowboys, and he's 53 years old. So I'm 49. So Coach Price, myself, and you, we're seasoned Cowboy fans. You understand? We're seasoned. We done seen it all. We done been to the mountain. And we done been to the valley. You understand? We done been somewhere in between. The younger Cowboy fans, they're they need us to kind of calm them down. You know, that's our job. This is the old folks podcast. This is the old folks podcast. Our job is to when everybody start out at hollering and screaming and see a name go across. Let's sign them. Let's sign them, please. Let's sign them down. It's our job as the older seasoned Cowboy fans to come in and just say, "Hey, can we calm down, please? Can we calm down, please?" That's our job. All right. Which leads to what I want to talk about. Uh, I'm convinced now. I'm convinced. Let me go and do since I'm a preacher. When you see the preacher take the microphone out, you know he's gonna go and get loose a little bit. Yeah, I'm convinced, y'all, that when you see something, stop trying to act like it's something else. And I'm coming from this standpoint. A lot of hope is in Cowboy land because we treat free agency like this is Madden off PlayStation 5, where every name you see, you think we're supposed to get them. Cowboy fans. Yeah. Stephen, don't let me hear the organ because I am a preacher now. I don't know if you know that or not, but I am an assistant pastor. I am a bishop in the Lord's church. Yeah. So if I hear organ, that do something to me. So I'm quiet. Okay. Let me stop. You distracted me with that. I got to preach tomorrow. Actually, I have to preach on tomorrow. Actually, let me get out there for a minute. Listen, we have to start looking. See, faith is in the church. You can have faith in your team, but when you done seen a pattern for years and years and years and years and years and years and years, listen, stop acting like it's not what you seen. I'm saying that to say this. Why are we expecting Stephen Jones to be something else other than Stephen Jones? I don't I don't get hype at all. I don't understand why we have such false expectations of a guy whose main goal is to save money, in which he has done that absolutely well. He has. He is some folks call him cap boy. Some of us call him cheap, whatever. Some of us call him bargain man, all it. Whatever the case may be, he has shown us for years. This ain't started, y'all. That when it comes to what the fan base wants to do, he just don't do it. Jerry Jones has a track record of, making some pretty big splashes. What's up, Joe? Not lately. And the reason why is because it is obvious, at least to me. Now, Jerry would never admit it, nobody in the front office would never admit it. But I'm telling y'all, I just see Stephen Jones running this team a little bit more than what Jerry is presenting. Because some of this stuff that I'm seeing is not Jerry Jones type movement, if I can say it like that. Some of this stuff has the handprint of Stephen Jones all over it. It's just the truth, man. I don't. Hey, what's up? What's up, West Coast? Got my brother here. I always pay respect to him. One of the best in the cowboy bloggers in the world. Actually, the best. One of the definitely. The success he's had is incredible. So, thank you for even popping in on a little guy like me, West Coast. Let me tell you something. Stephen, and I've always told y'all this for those that follow me, man. Listen, if this is what we got to look forward to when Jerry leaves here, we're not going to be in trouble because he has shown us the mentality of how he's going to run things. He respects the cap too much. He respects the market, whatever. He always is trying to lowball, and then things that make sense to primarily the fan base, he just doesn't do. He just does not do. And here we are on the verge, at least in my opinion, we're on the verge of having probably, in my view, a top 10 defense as constructed right now. I really believe that this defense, under the second year of Dan Quinn, with the extra talent that we have, based off the talent that we already have, I believe this defense is a top 10 defense right at the beginning of the year, before one snap. Of course, you got to play the games. I get all that. But I really do feel this is a top 10 defense. I also believe, you've been following me, I say I believe the defense is going to be our strongest unit this year. I believe that. And so I'm a believer that you ought to strengthen your strength. And we have had opportunities this offseason to do just that. We have had opportunities to make what I feel a top 10 defense. And I feel like you can make it with a couple spots, twins here. You can make this team a top 5 defense. And if you're really doing something, a couple of spots will make it a top 3 defense. That's just my opinion. You may differ, and it's okay. Let's go down the list real quick. You didn't even offer Bobby Wagner a contract. I mean, that would make us better defense. You knew it. Especially since the weakest link on the defense is probably the linebacker position. I think we're good on the front defensive line. Defensive tackles. Pass rush should be pretty good. You throw Michael in there every now and then, it just gets better. I believe the secondary is compared to the front, the defensive line, linebackers, and secondary. I believe the secondary will run second. And then I think lastly, the linebackers will be third. And when you look at who our linebackers are, you got a bunch of guys there who are either coming off an injury or are predominantly an injured player other than Michael Parsons. When you talk about Cox, who everybody loves, he's just coming off ACL. We don't know what he's going to be. And even if he is there, ladies and gentlemen, he really hadn't played the linebacker position in the NFL. He was a special teams guy. He did play a few plays in there. He has speed. We know that. Okay. We know that. But he's when you're young and fast like that, your eyes is gonna be the problem. Can you get fooled? If you want Cox, okay. LV stay hurt. He is Sean Lee 2.0. You can't depend on that. Which leaves Michael Parsons. Oh, I'm sorry. They don't just leave Michael Parsons. You got Luke Gifford. Luke Gifford ain't Luke Gifford ain't, he ain't been good enough to get in the game. He's a special teams good guy. These are the linebackers that we're talking about. LV can't stay healthy. You got Michael Parsons, who all world, but this is what you have. So in my view, I thought that we should strengthen our linebackers. That's just me. I thought we should strengthen our linebackers. I thought that would be the way to go. And if depending on who you get at that linebacker position, I said that this has the potential of being a top 3 defense if you get the right linebacker. So let's look. You had a chance to get Bobby Wagner. You insulted him. Okay, so he gone on to the Rams. Anthony Barr still sitting out there. I don't get it. You ain't even. Well, I guess with the Cowboys, I about to say, what are you waiting on somebody to get hurt? Then you're gonna make a move. Shoot, I challenge and say that even if somebody did get hurt, they still wouldn't go get Barr. It's just not in Stephen Jones. It's mind boggling to me why we won't do anything. So we knew, and here's my point. And then I'm done. Here's my point, and then I'm done, and y'all can tell me what y'all want to talk about, and I'll open up the lines a little bit later, and we can talk. But here's my point. The Cowboys knew that they needed a linebacker. They know they need one. They know they knew they need one. They did. They do. And they went and signed one. They did. They got a linebacker. They did. They went out and got Christian Sam. Mm. Yeah, I know. Yeah, got who? Yeah, I know. I know. I know. That's what some of y'all saying. Yeah, yeah. Christian Sam. That's what you get. A predominantly practice squad player, and I get what some of you gonna say already. I'm just saying. I understand you need camp bodies. I get that. I get it. I get it. I get it. I get it. And you do. You need camp bodies. Uh, uh, I know we need camp bodies. I know. I know. I know. But if you have an obvious need, why don't you just go ahead and address the need? I don't think the Cowboys are well, at least look, I you know, I don't think they're just 100% sold on who they're coming in with as the linebackers on this team in the training camp. I get it. And Stephen Jones is starting to, he ain't starting. He's already like gotten on my nerves. And he just keep adding chapters to this thing. You go get Christian Sam, camp body, and Steven said they know something about Clark and Cox we don't. Well, now I will give you credence for Clark, Brother White. And the only reason why I'm gonna say that is because White keeps saying he gonna play. I mean, Clark keeps saying he gonna play this year. And personally speaking, and I guess I'm wrong for even comparing myself, but I had the same surgery that he had. You see what I'm saying? I had the same. I had the fusion back surgery. Of course, the man is in better shape than I am, and pray to God that his surgery alleviated all pain that he may have had. If that's the case, then it is just a matter of strengthening your back and all that. I can only speak for myself. Uh, I had to find out that I had permanent nerve damage that goes shoot down my leg. So the fusion surgery didn't really help me. Um, I got 4 screws, 2 rods in my back, and then to help myself out, I had to have a following surgery to have a permanent stimulator put in my back. So I'm walking around now with a stimulator inside my back and a remote control to turn it up and down. So he's nowhere near where I am, even though we've had the same surgery. However, you got to use your common sense, like the neck and the back. Once you start chipping on that, it's rough. Uh, Not too many guys are playing with a fusion back surgery. There have been guys that play with a fusion neck surgery. Peyton Manning was that guy. We all saw how, even though he won, he was nowhere near where he was as far as arm strength. He had the pain shooting down his shoulder, which weakened his arm. You see what I'm saying? So Peyton couldn't do it anymore. LVE has had the surgery in his neck as well. So he's playing the wrong position. Number one, to be talking about having a neck fusion surgery because you run into a collision every play. Your neck can't be right. So when it comes to Clark, I don't know. You're right. We don't know, but the back ain't nothing to play with. I would love to see Clark back if he was there. He's physical and he's dangerous and all that kind of stuff. I get that part. But Christian Sam, I mean, even if he makes the team, is he better than Luke Gifford? I mean, come on. I ain't worried about Cox and, LVE and Parsons. I mean, good Lord. Is he even better than Luke Gifford? Because that's your fourth linebacker right there. That sounds like a special teams guy to me. So, I mean, is he even gonna make the special teams? I mean, it's just I got a problem. I got a problem with not addressing the issue. I'm sorry. And there's different ways I get it, but God Almighty, will you address the issue? If you're gonna address it, let's just address it. You got the money sitting right there. The Cowboys done well. He's got the money. We got money to spend. What you saving it for? Just to look at it? I mean, I don't get Stephen Jones. Now he keep adding more chapters. One other chapter he added, y'all know about it by now. Von Miller. Now, I'm not saying Von should not be on this team. I'm not, or we should sign him. Okay? I'm not saying that. But let's be honest, it wouldn't have hurt. But see, this is Steven. And go back to my original statement. He is locked in. And he's shown us this for years. He is locked in on this draft and developmental strategy that he has put on Will McClay. He has put on this whole organization. And once again, Vaughn is a little different because he said that he wants to come to Dallas. Matter of fact, y'all done seen it. He would have took the same contract as offered Randy Gregory. And then Steven came behind him and tried to lowball him. I don't get it. I don't get it. I don't care what y'all say. I don't get what y'all say. I don't care because see, it would have been something scary to have Vaughn. I don't care if he played, 7, 8 games, long as he there at the end. That's what the Rams did with him. Good Lord. Can you imagine Vaughn, D-Law, Parsons all coming at a quarterback? Can y'all imagine that? Oh, the Cowboys were leading sacks that year. No question. No question in my mind. We ain't even talking about the backups, Darns and Sam Williams and all them guys. But here's what I'm forced to believe. I'm forced to believe that we don't care who out there. We believe that we're going to draft these guys and develop them, and they're going to be players for us, which is okay to think that. But when you got some obvious stuff right there, why would we do that? Then let's go with this. Let's go with this, y'all. Let's go with this. You ever notice, y'all? Now listen, this is a theory of mine. This is a theory. But you ever notice something, y'all? Let me show you what I'm talking about. Let me show you this. The cornerback position of the Dallas Cowboys. There is loaded competition in the secondary. It was like that last year, it was this year. And they purposely, keyword, purposely, draft guys that are going to compete for the position. Last year was no different. We go get Kelvin Joseph, boss man fat, if you want to call him that, to challenge Anthony Brown. If he wouldn't have got hurt, boss man probably would have won the job. But you brought him in to challenge it. Some folks say he was brought in to challenge Diggs. Some folks even said that. He's a second-round draft pick. You brought him in to challenge. Nothing wrong with that. I'm just trying to show you something. You notice the tight end position? Jarwin, Schultz. I mean, look, we really didn't know who was going to be the starter. It was competition. If Jarwin wouldn't have got hurt, Jarwin might have been your starting tight end. Y'all notice that? Defensive line. Look at the talent. Look at all this talent on the defensive line. Look at all this talent. You sign a big deal for Dorrance Armstrong, but you immediately go draft Sam Williams. And I get the point some of you gonna say, hey, there's nothing wrong with having a plethora of pass rushers. I get it, but it's still competition. Because one of them guys need to start, the other one need to come off the bench. And we talking second round draft picks who usually are starters, immediate. See what I'm saying? But check this out though. As much as some of y'all didn't like Romo, they never brought in a quarterback to challenge Romo all those years. Dak just so happened to be there because everybody was hurt. Kellen Moore was hurt. Romo went down. Dak come in, win about 12 games. They couldn't sit him down. He had the job ever since. They weren't expecting that, though. They drafted him to be a third quarterback. A lot of y'all forgot Kellen Moore was the backup quarterback to Romo. Really wasn't brought in to be a challenge. They brought him in to learn. He's just a guy where the cars just turned his way, and he's never let go of the job since. They ain't brought nobody in to challenge Ezekiel Elliott. Think about it. They haven't brought anybody in. Watch this, and here's my real point. They haven't brought nobody in to challenge LVE. They never brought nobody in to challenge Jason Witten in his later days. So they pick and choose. And it brings confidence to these players like LVE right now because he ain't got nobody to challenge him for that middle spot or if he play outside linebacker, whatever you gonna do. They ain't brought nobody in but Christian Sam. Lord have mercy. When they brought Keanu O'Neal in, Keanu O'Neal was to play outside linebacker. They wasn't to challenge LVE. And I'm trying to figure out what is the miracle power of LVE to not only, number one, not bring nobody in, but you paid him like he just Ray Lewis or somebody. Y'all see that? That's just my theory. And that's the reason why these guys are comfortable. I wish they would make everybody uncomfortable. See, the defensive line position is going to be incredible this year. That's going to be a real battle. That's going to be a real battle to see who starts off day one. I mean, I can almost tell you who it's going to be. Follow the money. D-Law going to start at one end. If you follow the money, Dorrance Armstrong going to start the other one. But that don't mean Dorrance Armstrong going to be better than Sam Williams. Or some of the other guys that's coming off the edge. It don't mean that. It just follow the money. We paying you, you got to play. That's what I see going on. But I don't understand this infatuation with LVE. I don't see what this infatuation is with him. That you won't challenge the man, that you just automatically pencil him in. You know he stay hurt. You know, and somebody gonna say, well, they did draft Clark. Look, I don't care nothing about that. They drafted him as a project. They looking at him like they did Jalen Smith. A project. We hope is back all right. I get it, Steven. And you're absolutely right because that's what they showed. When they brought up Javon Curse, they brought him in the box. I get it. I get it. Now, I ain't going to argue with you on that. I'm saying that this linebacker core is questionable. and the incredible ability of Michael Parsons. Some may say, well, he makes up 2 for 1. Well, what if he get hurt? What you got then? What we got is Michael if Michael get hurt from the linebacker position? What do we have? That's what I'm saying. We have a chance to get better. It ain't got to be a $10-20 million player. Good Lord. I take Anthony Hitchens right now. Anthony Hitchens would come in, and because of our linebacker core, he would be a day one starter on this team. And he's not trash. Anthony Barr definitely would be a starter, and I believe he'll catapult us up to be a number 5 defense in the league. That's what I feel. I think he's that good. It's just that we will not make the moves that will make us an even more of a contender. That's just what I'm saying. So, but like I said before, this hadn't just started. It's been this way. It's been this way. Y'all do remember the story, of course, when Deion Sanders signed with Dallas. Y'all do remember that Stephen Jones picked his daddy up by the collar and put him on the wall for signing Deion Sanders. He didn't want to spend no money then. So Stephen Jones been like this. He didn't want his daddy to spend the money. He had just started off being the cap boy back then. And he jacked his own daddy up for signing Deion Sanders. That's a legitimate story. So Steven been this way. I don't. And when you see all the other teams and what they're doing, and you can't tell me that you're comfortable. The Cowboys are not a favorite in the NFC. We might be a favorite in the NFC East. But overall in the NFC, you're going to call out probably about 3 or 4 teams before you get to Dallas. Huh? Yeah. See, Steven? See? If you're talking about putting that ring on your finger, you have to. That's what the Rams did. That's what the Buccaneers did the year before. They could care less about future draft picks and all that kind of stuff. It's so many different ways you could build your football team. And I am of the point that the window is closing very quickly. You need to go and win while you still got a chance. We have not capitalized on that. We have not. And so some of these guys are getting ready to be long in the tooth. And ain't no sense you talking about a favorite for the Super Bowl. Now no whole bunch. It just don't work like that. Y'all know that. It just don't. We've had a little window to make some real moves, and it's more than just this offseason. It's been plenty of names that we could have gotten. It had money. We just didn't do it. All right. I don't. It don't get on your nerves. Yeah, Steven said that cost us too. After that Super Bowl 30 look 26 years. No, we had some good chances, Steven. Without it, we had some good years, Romo years that we could have won. We just didn't close the deal. We had some pretty good teams then, and it wasn't all superstars. It was just real commitment to a philosophy, and we did it. We just didn't close the show. Yeah, we did. We had some good teams that could have won. We lost because of coaching, and we lost also because we're not built to come down. To come back from 35-3. Every time and all that kind of stuff. We were built to grind. We're a grinded out type football team. At least that's the way that our players look. Or at least that's the way we draft. A grinded out type football team. With not really, the last couple of years we have been explosive. I'll give you that, but that's really not the way we should be playing. But we can get explosive. It is what it is. All right. That's a good comment though, Steve. We could have won in 26 years. What you say, Steve? We had that team last year and this year too. I do have faith in this slow push to a great team. We are deep. We're deep on defense. We are deep on defense so far. Offensively, no, we're not. We're not. Well, we're not as deep. Let me say that. We're just not as deep as I feel like we are on defense. But that's okay. That's okay. Everything can't be a Pro Bowl team on both sides of the ball. You can win in this league if you got a real good defense and a above average offense. You can win a whole lot of games if you got that part. That's all I was saying. Strengthen your strength. If the defense is the best, have the same aggression that you had when you were on offense, stacking all these guys up. Have the same mentality on the defense now. That's all I want. And there are a couple names out there that will take us to the next level. And we will not do it. We just want to draft and develop. I don't have time to experiment. That's just me. The window is closing just like this. We got to win. I ain't got time to be waiting. I'm trying to build a dynasty. I don't see signs of a dynasty yet. You got to show me some dynasty stuff before I can start saying, well, we're trying to build for the next 5-6 years. You ain't going nowhere. We ain't going nowhere. We ain't going nowhere. We just won a couple NFC East championships. That's all we have. That's all we done. That's all we've done. And the Eagles done caught up with us. Y'all know that. I don't like them, but the Eagles have caught up talent-wise. Yes, they have. There ain't no guarantee about the NFC East right now. I think we're going to win it, but I'm saying there ain't no guarantee. I knew we were going to win it last year. I knew nobody couldn't stay with us. And the Eagles very well may not be able to stay with us right now. I just saying they gotten better. That's all I'm going to say. Okay. I'm done. Y'all heard what I got to say. Y'all just commenting on what I was saying. Let me see here. Y'all see that thing right there on the bottom? The ticker is ticking. We started early. Let's go ahead and roll. All line is open right now. Go ahead and roll. 64901-649. Let me see that. Oh, I'm sorry. 901-654-6853. You can call in now. If not, go ahead and put you can go ahead and put it in the chat box if you want to talk about something else as well. But I'm available. Coach Price said you're not going to have a dynasty with McCarthy. We might win one, but McCarthy is not a dynasty coach. I agree. 100%. Hold on a second. Let's see here who this is. See who this is. Wait a minute. Talk to me. Oops. Okay, hold on a second, Coach. I ain't got you. I don't have you locked in quite yet. Give me a chance here. Give me a chance here, Coach. Because people can't hear you. I think I can hear you. But let me get you in. Steven said I'm making chicken fried steaks, but I said, Coach, say something to me.
You can hear me now?
Yeah, we all can hear you. We in here. What's up, Coach?
All right.
What's going on?
Ain't nothing going on. I'm glad to be back, man. Had to travel down south to Alabama for the 4th of July. We could see some family and relax with them and see a multitude of my family, 51 first cousins in the state of Alabama. So
incredible.
It's a big family down there, man. And I see you got my my quote on there about McCarthy. McCarthy is not a dynasty coach.
Exactly.
He might win one, but he is not the type of guy that I think can hold it together and challenge teams year in and year out to stay at a ultimate level pace. I don't see him as that type of guy.
Mm-hmm.
It's a special breed of coach to be. It's a special breed to win a championship, and it's a special breed to be a dynasty coach. In the last 30 or 40 years, this is how much coaching means. In the last 30 or 40 years, there's probably been over 300 and some different coaches, head coaches.
Mm-hmm.
But you probably only got about 25 or maybe less than the one championship.
Yeah, it's less than that.
So
it's less than that.
So and most of them got multiple.
Yeah.
So it takes a special guy to coach men and to keep them motivated to win. But stop
right there, Coach. So based off what you're saying, let me ask you this question. What do you think about Coach McCarthy's championship in Green Bay?
Say that again.
What do you think about Coach McCarthy's championship in Green Bay then? Do you give him credit?
I think
I know.
If you look at Coach McCarthy's championship in Green Bay, I think that was the only year that they ranked up there in the running game. I think Dorsey Levens might have been the running back at that particular time, or it was some guy that had 1,300 yards with them. And then they had some other years after that. But you got to remember, man, when we talk about Coach McCarthy, the NFC North has been the worst division in football in the history of football.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
The history. I ain't just talking about in a couple of years. The history.
I guess what I'm trying to ask you, Coach. Did you give Coach McCarthy a lot of credit in that, or did you give the MVP the credit in that, in Aaron Rodgers? See, I'm listening at you, and I'm almost about to say something about what, because I'm in the boat with you. That's all I'm about to say. But tell me, what do you give him? You got to give him some credit. I mean, I know that. But
I give him some credit. Yeah, he's the coach. Yeah.
But do you give him real credit? The credit that Belichick gets, the credit that Mike Tomlin gets for winning. Do you give him that type of nod, or you kind of in the middle of this thing?
I definitely don't give him that type of credit that I would give Belichick or and I'm gonna say it for this reason. And this sometimes it's kind of you have to look at it this way. Mike McCarthy had a very good team when he won the championship. Mm-hmm. They had a very good defense coordinator, and they had a very good defense that year. And yes, he's had some success after they won a championship. Mm-hmm. But their level of success wasn't conducive to, they just had a great talented team that year. A lot of people, let's just take Belichick. A lot of people give Tom Brady a lot of credit for Belichick's championship, but we look at the New England team, the rest of the team was reconstructed 3 times for him to win championship. Mm-hmm. The other pieces was reconstructed 3 times. Mm-hmm. That takes coaching.
Yeah.
To find how to reconstruct with totally different teams. Even Tom Brady said that in his documentary he has about, he talks about his times he was in the Super Bowl. He talks about how the Coach Belichick reconstructed the team 3 times for them to keep being competitive and continue to get back to the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
So I don't see McCarthy as a guy that can reconstruct the team again to keep it at ultimate level.
Well, I even break it down like this because I'm listening to you, Coach, and I'm trying to figure out really where I stand with him. As I'm really, we point the finger at Kellen more so much that we don't have the real conversations about Coach McCarthy. Let me ask you this, and it's been so long, you may really can't answer this, but he was the play caller and the quote-unquote offensive coordinator of Green Bay when they won the Super Bowl. Now, do you give him credit, or do you look at Aaron Rodgers, even though he was much younger, he still was the MVP in that year? Or do you say that this because, do you look at Aaron Rodgers like he was like Peyton Manning was in Indianapolis?
No, I look at Aaron Rodgers as being good, but Big Show. This is what people kind of forget, and we have short-term memories, and that's why we give a lot of people credit. The last 5 years in Green Bay, they had a problem with their offense, and Aaron Rodgers kept saying the offense was bland and not creative. That's why McCarthy got fired.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
We forget about what was being said to put him on the hot seat.
Exactly.
And he said that he didn't feel that McCarthy worked enough to be creative enough, so McCarthy had to go into the tunnel after he left Green Bay to try to get more attuned to the new style of offense. But he did that in the tunnel, not with a team.
Yeah.
And then he comes to the Dallas, and he allows a young blood coordinator who skipped a lot of steps, that's not experienced enough, take over the offense and not mold him and groom him like he should.
Yeah.
Those are problems. We have to look at the full picture. The reason why he was let go in Green Bay, because the last 5 years, Aaron Rodgers said he was not creative enough, and he made him run around and make plays with his athletic ability, but there was no substance. You don't see Aaron Rodgers run now. You see him run the ball more.
Yeah.
And the game is much easier for Aaron Rodgers. He don't want 2 MVPs since McCarthy left.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm with you. I'm just trying to make sure. They definitely facts. I'm just trying to make sure, because when you said that he's not a dynasty coach, the question to me becomes, can he lead a team to a Super Bowl? I mean, I'm starting to wonder that. I ain't saying he can't, but I'm starting to wonder. Ain't no sense in me lying about it. I'm starting to wonder. Because see, his best attribute And that could be questioned just based off what you said. His best attribute has been taken away already because his best attribute is he's an offensive coordinator. Well, he ain't calling no plays here. So if that ain't what he's doing, what is he? He's not a great motivator. He's not a guy that guys run through a wall for. That's Dan Quinn. So I'm trying to figure out who is this guy? And you know what I'm saying? Or he just a figurehead that's just standing on the sideline and is looking like, to me, that's what he is. I'm not saying he's trash. I'm just saying, like, you're not that guy. You know, you just not.
I'm not saying he's trash either, Big Show. I'm not saying he's trashy. But let's look at the tea leaves here and figure this out. And I ask you and I ask all the Cowboy fans this. If you are a Super Bowl coach and you feel that you dominated in Green Bay and you won a Super Bowl on your merit as a coach, right? Mm-hmm. You will coach Aaron Rodgers up and you feel that you had a big part of coaching him up and getting him from his first start to where he's at. And you won and you called the plays and that was your offense. And you have that skin on the wall. Would you take a job with an organization and allow them to tell you that this young guy that's only been an offense coordinator for 2 years is going to control the offense and you're not going to have a major say in the offense that's run and you have done it already in the NFL and you felt that you have done it? Is that an alpha coach or is that a guy that's questions? Is that a guy that can be an alpha coach to lead a young team in the biggest stage and the most craziest media thing to a championship because it will show in the biggest moments and the biggest games the leadership from up top?
Mm-hmm. You know what time it is.
I'm just asking. That's just, when you talk about Cowboy talk, common sense is the base thing for Cowboys talk.
Yeah.
Would you think an alpha coach that got that skin on the wall gonna come in and say, I'm an offensive coordinator, I have been offensive coordinator, I have mentored Aaron Rodgers, wouldn't that be the first person that has the main voice in your young quarterback Dak Prescott ear, a guy that worked with Aaron Rodgers? But he gonna allow a guy that doesn't even have any coach experience be the main voice to your young quarterback?
Well, you know how I feel about that. That wasn't his call. We all know what time it was. He got to change his whole coaching staff except Kellen Moore. We know that. So, but I agree with you. The question, to answer your question is no.
That wasn't his call, right? Mm-hmm. That wasn't his call. But here it is again. It goes back to what I was saying. If I am a coach for 13 years in Green Bay, and I have played in the Super Bowl and won a Super Bowl, I have beat you, I have played an NFC Championship game, I have had the skins on the wall as being a Super Bowl coach.
I've also
would I even accept that type of job when it ain't my call?
Throw something else on there. He turned Aaron Rodgers to an MVP. He won his first MVP that year. So let's throw that in.
Would I accept that job if it's not my call?
Exactly. I wouldn't do it.
I wouldn't even accept that job.
No,
it's
no
not
way.
Like they offering him $10 million a year.
No way.
He's one of the lowest paid coaches in the league.
As a matter of fact, let's carry it another step. It would be really an insult for you to bring me in just to do this. It would be an insult to what I built as a coach. It's an insult. It really is.
He's a Steven guy.
Yeah, obviously.
Steven Jones brought McCarthy to we can get about that. Steven Jones got the word about McCarthy. He brought McCarthy to Jerry's house, and they made the deal because Steven really wanted McCarthy. And McCarthy is not Jerry's puppet, he's Steven's puppet.
Yeah.
And McCarthy is not going to take a role of being an alpha male, alpha coach to say, it's got to be my way, and I know how to mold a team. He says that up there, but I know how to coach. But if he's going to go down, I'm going to go down blazing with both guns firing, doing it my way, then allow someone else to ruin me. Because when you leave Dallas as a head coach, and you look like you are weak in running an organization or running a team, you usually don't get head coaching jobs
quickly.
That's it.
Yeah.
Talk about some of the coaches that left. Did they ever get head coach jobs again?
No. Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah, exactly. Coach, let me free it. Let me free it up, and of course they don't call back. You call right back in. Let me free it up. But I just had to stop you there before you got on something else, because you brought up an excellent, another whole show just with that. I think we done gave McCarthy way too much credit, and without really dissecting him the way we dissect Kellen Moore. That's what I feel. And once you start dissecting him, you'll really start to make you, it'll make you feel worse than what you already are. That's what I'm feeling right now. Ain't no sense in me lying about it. I don't think he's the guy. I just don't. I don't think he's the guy, and he's very capable. He knows the game. Ain't no doubt about that. I give him that. But he's just not the guy that this team needs to take them to the next level. Or he's the perfect guy if you just want to stay stagnant. And you know what the sad part about this is, Coach Nye say that? The man done won games since he been here. He done won games. He won 12 last year. I mean, he won. He's won games. But
this is what I wanted to say, Big Show. That's why I know that this Cowboy team, talent is not a problem on this Cowboys team.
It's not.
It is not a problem on this team. If you were to ask everybody who's not in the media or not trying to have clickbait about the Cowboys roster as it's presently constructed, they would say you got two of the best running backs in the National Football League. Mm-hmm. Both of them could be top 10 running backs. Mm-hmm. You got a line that is not bad. It was just utilized wrong. And you have a defense of last year that's multi-talented with a lot of different pieces and guys that have shown on film that they are very good with a more of experienced time of this to be in the same situation next year, this coming year. Teams of players will tell you that the Cowboys are talented.
Yeah.
But the coaching has to meet the talent. The great coaches, Bill Belichick and Nick Saban, in their art of coaching, that especially was on HBO, the first thing that both of them said is that great players cannot take bad coaching. Mm-hmm. Because great players turn into good players turn into mediocre players, and mediocre players turn into bad players. Because you put them in bad situations where their greatness cannot come out.
Yeah.
And this is what we do in our offense, but Dan Quinn does that with his defense. That's why you see them excel like Curse. He put him in a situation where he was best fit his skill set, and now you see him flourish.
Yeah.
But I just want to get to this LV thing, and I'm gonna let you go. I posted on there. I listened to your show when I was in Alabama about the LVE thing, right? Mm-hmm. And yes, LVE be hurt, but he played 17 games last year. Mm-hmm. And it's not about LVE and his injuries is the concern to me. It's about his softness and his speed.
Mm-hmm. He lost some of that.
Coming out of college, LVE was called a guy that for out of Boise State. They said they comped him to Brian Urlacher. Well, he was a Brian Urlacher, but he wasn't as fast as Brian Urlacher. Urlacher was a 4.5, maybe a 4.4 guy, was very fast. But Urlacher himself was not the most physical linebacker in the world.
No.
LVE flourished his first year on a defense where he was a rookie. He was not, they didn't know too much about him, and he had an okay year.
Sure, he was all pro.
Ever since then, yeah, ever since then, and you look at his, if you look deep into the numbers of his all-pro season, he had some hiccups in there also.
Oh God!
But you know, when you get a linebacker get 2 or 3 interceptions because the guy throw the ball to him, not like he was doing a great coverage thing. With a lot of the interceptions because he got the ball thrown right to him.
Mm-hmm.
Ever since then, even when he played, I always look at a player when they play and see how they play. Mm-hmm. I can't worry about the games they injured because they're not playing. But when you put on those pads and you get on the field, I expect you to give a level of play that says that you can play. But when he was on the field, he was hard.
Oh, yeah.
And last year, forget about what they talk about football focus, trying to make it look like he's done it at the end of the season. I think that's a Cowboy-driven article that they try to put out there.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Yeah, definitely.
But they're protecting LVE's playing time. That's why there has not been a veteran linebacker brought in here. Because if you bring a Hitchison, Anthony Barr, into this locker room, he is not going to beat them out for playing time.
Yeah, exactly.
And LVE is going to be subject to sitting on the sideline.
A rotation.
And they're trying to do everything they can do to stop that from happening. Now, you're right about it not bringing the competition with LVE. I'm not too. I'm all right for them passing on Von Miller.
Mm-hmm.
And I tell you the reason why I'm already paying Von Miller. We know what the Rams do, right? Yeah. When they guys can help them, and they think they pay them, they pay big bucks,
mm-hmm.
right?
Mm-hmm. That's what he's done. That's what they've done.
But you know something? If the Rams and Denver, when they signed another guy, they signed Randy Gregory. So they let Von Miller go last year, and then they signed Randy Gregory. They let him go for peanuts, and they signed Randy Gregory this year. Mm-hmm. If the Denver first and the Rams second, seen something in their day-to-day work with him, and they didn't pay big money to keep him a pass rusher, no, we shouldn't have put out no money to pay for him. Because if you look deep into the film, he's got a couple of splash plays there. Uh-huh. And you shouldn't pay big money over a long-term contract where you hurt the development of your players for splash plays. Now, the linebacker is a different story because he's not going to give you splash plays. The guy that went to the Rams, he was going to give you experience. Bobby Wagner. Mm-hmm. He was going to teach Parsons how to be a better linebacker.
Oh, yeah.
And the Rams went and got him because the Rams do what is smart. They didn't worry about a linebacker that can cover. They worried about a linebacker that can stuff the run behind that line because they know they play San Francisco every 2 times a year, and San Francisco been killing them running the football.
Exactly.
So this is why I say we're Cowboys. We have a good football team. We have to keep focused on what the real issues here is. The Kellen Moore and Kellen Moore going to utilize the pieces that he has, and he's going to motivate these guys and utilize them the best way. And is Mike McCarthy strong enough to corral this team in this big media melting pot?
Yeah. Because
the Cowboys stand for the star. And I tell you what the star means. seen, talked about relentlessly. That's what the star means.
That's us.
So that's what I'm concerned about. That's what we need is Mike McCarthy, that guy that can rein this team in mentally and get them to where they need to be. Because when you have a team that's very big penalized team, that's such as the coaching and keeping their mental capacity focused into what they need to do for the team.
Wow.
So it's the small things, because it's not a talent problem here in Dallas. If we utilize it correctly, we don't win 12 games like we won last year by happenstance. And we didn't even get blown out no time last year. Yeah. Maybe Denver game, and I think we win that game. It was a trap game coming out for a big victory, and we thought we were resting on our laurels. But other than that, every game we have been in, we didn't get blown out. We played competitive, but we had little small things. And because this team was disconstructed together last year, but this year is McCarthy's year to rein this team in and ride this team hard to get them to understand that it's about winning. Yeah. Can he do that and control his own coaches? That's the main point of this whole thing. I ain't worried about the talent. We need another linebacker in there, but heck, I'll let one of the rookie linebackers play, because I can guarantee you if they come to play, they play better than LVE.
I believe that also. Appreciate you, Coach. Awesome as always.
Appreciate it, brother.
Thank you, man. All right. That was the one and only Coach Marr. Always dropping bombs. Did it again today. You know, when you start talking about this stuff like this, it's hard for organizations to win when there's really no stability. Let's look at this, and I guess I might finish with it. Well, I forgot about that, Joe. They signed a kicker too when they signed the linebacker. So they signed a kicker in, Lom, whatever his name is, I forgot his, I know we signed the kicker. I just can't pronounce his name to bring in competition for the kicking job. So we did sign somebody for that. But look, y'all, if you really do an honest assessment, and Coach helped us out on that today. And it just dawned on me, because when you start talking about these coaches, it actually shows where you stand with them. Like, y'all don't have to wonder where I stand with Kellen Moore. Y'all know that. Y'all know I don't like him as an offensive coordinator. And even though he got the number one offense or whatever, I still don't like him, because situational football is what he's horrible at. Horrible. It's play calling. That's just my view. Okay, you may think he's best thing since sliced bread. Okay, that's on you. I think he's horrible. Goal line, inside the 20-yard line, he's not that great. But when you start giving an honest assessment of this thing, yeah, when you look at the front office, are we stable there? I mean, I guess it depends on what your definition of stability is. Like, I don't know. I guess you have to categorize it. Are we stable in the front office as far as you can really honestly say we got a real good shot at winning the Super Bowl? Are you feel like that? Then when you go down, you usually look at your general manager. Well, we all know who our general manager is, same as the owner, so we really ain't got to go through that. The next thing you look at is your head coach. And I'm starting to think in my mind, and Coach just kind of put, added a little bit more fuel to the fire, that I'm not saying Coach McCarthy is stable. So look at the picture. Are we stable? Then the next step is quarterback. Well, let me go back. Coach Price just put up another thing. He says, "Where would be without Will, who I feel like is really the real GM as far as talent goes? We'll be in real trouble. Because one thing about Will, he got too many Pro Bowl players on his resume to say he don't know what he's doing. So we know Will knows about talent level and finding talent. He got too many Pro Bowlers on his resume. He knows what he's doing. That's stable. Will, and that's sad. Will McClay is the most stable front office person on our football team, front office wise. That's sad. If you really do an honest assessment on it, you made and like I said, an honest assessment. Well, your honest assessment may say that we're good everywhere. Right? I'm not gonna argue with you. I'm just based off of what I'm saying. Will McClay is the most stable person past the football field. Then you got to go after you finish all the front office. Now you go on the field. Number one position. Are you stable at quarterback? My answer is yes. You're stable at quarterback. Well, because you can't win without a quarterback. Everybody know that. And then everything else kind of fit into its own smaller category. You can have the Baltimore Ravens of Ray Lewis years should have won a championship every year if they had a quarterback. Look how great those defenses were. But when it got to the offensive side of the ball, it wasn't that great. That's why they could only get so far. Their defenses carried them all them years. Defense was excellent. They didn't believe in stacking up the offense. They believed in stacking up the defense. They believed in that. And we all know what's up, Awesome in Sports. We all know how great the Baltimore Ravens defenses were during that particular time. We all know that. But they didn't stack up on offense. They didn't. Flacco got hot one year and took them all the way. But consistently, though, they would get second round or lose an AFC championship game or whatever. They just couldn't score. And so when we look at my team, the Cowboys, I'm trying to figure out my two most, and this, I done fill up on another whole show just with this. Good God. The only two things that I see that I say, okay, without a doubt, this is stable in my organization. Will McClay, Dak Prescott. That's it. I know some of y'all may want to break down each position group. I'm not going to do that. I'm just saying, long term, are we stable there? We're not stable. Some of y'all would say, okay, are we stable on the offensive line? I'm not going to say that, and if I did, I would say no, because we're getting older, with the exception of the young kid we just drafted. Yeah, I guess Coach is talking about when I was talking about Baltimore. Question: how many championships we could win? We could win that type of defense with Dak, Zeke, Lamb, and TP. I mean, the blueprint. I'm not saying that's the blueprint, but it definitely worked for Baltimore. Baltimore for 10 years said, "Look, we don't care. We don't care nothing about. We'll just keep our head above the water. Offense, they said we're gonna run the ball. We're not gonna spend no money on the wide receiver. Baltimore never had a wide receiver. They ran the ball tremendously well. They had Flacco had a machine gun arm and could hit plays at critical times. He could do that. But what they said was, we're gonna try to make it seem like everybody on this defense will be in the Pro Bowl next year. Every position. dominance. That every position they want a dominant football player. Suggs, Lewis, defensive tackle, Sam Adams, Goose, Bart Jones, look at the secondary, Reed, Ed. I mean, come on now. They had guys, man, dogs, and they won consistently. Partly, of course, that's because of Ray Lewis and his leadership and the way he played the game and had them guys going crazy. I get all that, but I'm saying they strengthened their strength. And I'm feeling like we got the chance to do that defensively because that is our strength this year. And I feel like a couple pieces could make this defense get a top 10. You add a couple pieces on here. That's a top 5 defense, man. Jeffrey asked the question, and this is the tremendous divide. This is a tremendous divide on this. I see you, Coach. Hold on a second. I see Jeffrey asked that.
Coach Mark.
Coach came in right time because I was just about to answer the question, but I believe that's why Coach called back. I think you saw Jeffrey ask the question, what makes Dak stable? I believe that's what you call it in for if I know you like I know you.
Yeah, Dak's stable, man. You don't break records in Cowboy land as he done broke just about some of the records of the great quarterbacks that have been in Dallas and not call him stable. But I did call back for this reason right here about my question I just asked. You Big Show, I think you point out 3 of us that we go back to the Cowboys, way back to all the championships, the mountaintop experience.
Everything except the 72 team. I can talk about 77 and up.
Yeah, I've been around for all the championships.
Uh-huh.
The defense that the Baltimore Ravens had, every year that we have won a championship, our defense has been compared to that type of defense.
Mm-hmm.
Even when the Roger started the doomsday defense, when we had the 3-headed monster in Dallas of Drew Pearson, Tony Dorsett, and Roger Staubach, the doomsday defense made it much easier for them to do whatever they wanted to do and dominate it.
Mm-hmm.
Lightning struck us lightning struck again, and history will repeat itself. It comes into the 90s. Troy Aikman, Emmitt Smith, and Michael Irvin, and the defense with those Super Bowl years was either 1 or 2 or 3 in the league when we won those championships.
Mm-hmm.
We have never, Cowboy fans, we have never played in a championship game, NFC championship game, a Super Bowl, or won a Super Bowl without a top 10 defense and a top 5 running game in the history of the Cowboys.
Exactly.
History repeats itself. If you don't believe history repeats itself, you sleep under a rock. Exactly. This is the DNA of this organization. And when you try to change the DNA of anything, you make it lesser than what it really can be.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. Appreciate you. Oh, those are definitely facts. Ain't no doubt about that. Appreciate you.
And we're close to being there right now.
I really do believe it, Coach. I really do believe it, and I think that we are one another linebacker away from really saying, okay, let's roll. Let's see what we really get. I believe we one more linebacker away. That's all I want. Just give me one.
And on offense, you got a guy named Lamb that is going to have a great year. And if you utilize those 2 guys in the backfield, man, it's gonna make it easy for Lamb and any receiver on the other end.
I don't even
and you will dominate the NFL. Every team in the NFL fears you. They just don't want you to utilize it the right way. If we, I'm saying this last question. If we had Bill Belichick as coach, or Sean McVay, or Kyle Shanahan, with the team constructed just like it is right now, without changing a piece, would we be asking these questions about could we win a Super Bowl this year?
Nope. And that points back to your original question from minutes ago, coaching. That goes back to that bottom line. And to answer your other question about what we have on offense, you know, that depresses me because you're making me have to start talking about Kellen Moore then, and you know that's a depressing item for me. So I ain't gonna even go there. You know, he got to show me, coach. He got to show me.
We will be actually questions. They will be talking about us losing the championship game because we wasn't experienced enough, or we was lacking certain things. They wouldn't be talking about could the coaches take this team to the next level. And those coaches I named may change the linebacker. They may get a linebacker here, but they probably wouldn't touch another thing on our team.
Yep, I agree. No doubt about it. They might get Lamb. I'll throw in Lamb. They can work with Lamb. You put Lamb with the right people, and he gonna explode. But I think Lamb is just too good. He gonna explode anyway. I just feel like.
I mean, saying Big Show, if they took over this team, they'll bring in a linebacker.
Oh yeah.
If McCarthy, but they wouldn't touch another problem on this roster.
No.
And they would love Will McClay, and they would. Because they'll know he'll keep bringing people in for competition. He'll keep bringing people in for competition, and that will stop. The competition stops complacency.
Yeah, because you're going to sit on that bench if you don't get your stuff together. Appreciate you, Coach. Again.
All right.
Thank you. Jeffrey, I'll take my stab at your question because that's why you put it out there. What make Dak stable? There's just so many ways you can go with that. What makes him stable? Other than the obvious, other than last year. And I really believe, Jeffrey, you probably saying that because of the stigma that he has about not winning the big game or whatever. My only argument, and I believe I'm right in probably guessing that, because statistically, he's there. I mean, we can't deny that. He's there. 37 touchdowns last year. He's there. He can score. He's one of the few. Once you look at his rookie year up until now, you're gonna be real hard trying to find. It's gonna be real hard trying to find a quarterback that has progressed from rookie year up until this moment as good as he has. You really gonna have to go back. I mean, from year one to now, where you're a fourth round quarterback, and there are teams right now where if you were to do a draft, if you were to do that draft all over again, Dak Prescott will be in the first round. Because he's one of those guys that you need. He's a long-term franchise quarterback. Now, the problem that we've had over the years when we say franchise quarterback, we automatically said where the ring get. That's fine. Just because you don't, and that's a fair assessment, but just because you don't have a ring does not mean that you're not a franchise quarterback. Matthew Stafford just got his now, but Matthew Stafford is a franchise quarterback before the ring. Well, there's a list of names or guys who hadn't won. Marino come to mind. He didn't win, but we all know he was a franchise quarterback. And then there have been a lot of guys who have won, but they really not franchise quarterbacks. Trent Dilfer, Joe Flacco, they're not franchise type guys. This guy, with the amount of pressure that he had in his first year, Dak Prescott, up until this present moment, he's a friend. He's stable. You can depend on him. He just has not knocked down that stigma that a lot of Cowboy fans and national media have. Like, okay, yeah, we see your stats. Yeah, you got 37 touchdowns and 12, 13 interceptions for the year and 4,000 yards and close to 5,000. But where your playoff wins at? And that's a fair assessment, because that's how you get judged to become a great quarterback. Is about how much have you won. But at the same time, let's be honest now. See, we have done this over the years as well. Like when Tampa win, the first thing you say is Brady got him. Brady got him. They did that in the Super Bowl. It wasn't Brady. It was that defense that did that. It was that defense that won that Super Bowl against Kansas City. They shut them down. But when they won, they say, Brady, 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 Brady. Oh, my God. And then as soon as they lose, it's not Brady then. But see, Brady has that type of, status. You watch the playoff games, you know Dallas had problems on defense in those playoff games. Green Bay ripped us apart starting off, and Dak had to come back and all that kind of stuff. The 49er game, we just couldn't stop. We couldn't, our defense couldn't stop them. That ain't got nothing to do with that. Defense played well all year. Played San Francisco game and got ran over. That's what happened. So we got to be real careful on, Dak. Put it this way. He's one of probably the top 10, depending on how you look at it. He's probably one of the top 10 guys in the whole world that can do that job. In the whole world. Joe, absolutely right. With Romo, we had great offense but bad defense. That's because we weren't stacking on defense. We stacked on offense back then. Dak, put it this way. Put Dak Prescott on the trademark and watch what happens. You can name about 15 to probably about 10, 12 teams that will line up in a heartbeat. Take them. That's when you know you're okay. You don't think the Washington Commandos, whatever they are, you don't think they'll take Dak over Carson Wentz? You don't think the Giants wouldn't take Dak Prescott over Daniel Jones? I'm just staying in the division. Do you think that I'll tell you what, put that with Philadelphia this year. See what I'm saying? Oh, yeah. I just stay with the NFC East. They'll take them out. You think the New Orleans Saints, put Dak Prescott with the New Orleans Saints this year. Watch what happens. That's what Jamie Winston did. Thank you, Joe. Put Dak Prescott with Cleveland this year. Watch what happens. You give Dak Prescott Chubb and the other running back Kareem Hunt with Njoku and Amari Cooper. Okay, what you think gonna happen? Put Dak Prescott in Pittsburgh right now. You think Mike Tomlin wouldn't take Dak Prescott? Oh my God! Put Dak Prescott with New England. You don't think that Dak Prescott ain't better than Jones, whatever the kid name is, Matt Jones? Come on now. I'm just throwing names out. I'm serious. Put that. Y'all, you want to go? Let me go there. You don't think that San Francisco would take Dak Prescott over Trey Lance right now? What about Chicago? Hello. You put Dak Prescott in San Francisco right now. Let me tell you something. There's gonna be a lot of people saying San Francisco going to the Super Bowl. Yeah, I'll be one of them. Oh, Dak is stable. Don't. It's not. We just ain't won, but I just named off a few. I mean, if I go line by line, good Lord, they'll be knocking at Dak front door if we put them on the trading block. Jose put Dak with Minnesota over Kirk Cousins. Yeah, come on now. Put Dak Prescott in Minnesota with Dalvin Cook and Justin Jefferson and Adam Thielen and Kyle Rudolph. And I mean, come on. And Matheson. I mean, come on now. You don't think Minnesota would be more of a threat? Come on now. Come on. I think I named about 12 or 13. I ain't got to the obvious, Jacksonville and New York Jets and stuff like that. But I tell you what, let's really go and hit the home run. How about this one? And this really was gonna mess you up. How about this one? Put Dak Prescott with the Tennessee Titans and Derrick Henry, and you tell me, what's gonna happen? Huh? Look at all that talent Miami got this year. You don't think that somebody would, if the coach had a choice between Tua and Dak Prescott, who you think they're gonna take? Oh no, Jeffrey, I can't agree with you on that one, brother. I'll hear a little bit more than a product of the system. I think you can put him just about in a complementary system, and he still will do what you're saying now. I think you can. I think he's on that type of level. I do. I think the same 4,000 yards he get, he'll get the same numbers everywhere else, as long as he got an offensive line. He can read defenses, obviously. Got a strong enough arm to get the job done, and he's one of the best in the league. I ain't say he was the best. He's one of the best. He can get you, depending on what kind of line you got. That's what really every quarterback. He can win you some ball games. He ain't Jameis Winston now. Let's respect that. He ain't no trash. He ain't Jacoby Brissett. You know what I'm saying? He's not, he's not these guys. And I ain't just, I'm one of the ones that'll call him out when he don't do right. I've been saying that. But I ain't gonna disrespect him and say he's not one of those type of guys. He can win you football games. He can win you football games. Ain't no doubt about that. He's a guy that needs, and I get where you're going, Jeffrey, because I'm not fit to say that. He's a guy that erases, you probably want a quarterback that erase all type of deficiencies. There are some guys out there like that, but there's only about 2 or 3 of those. You got a quarterback that can override how bad your defense can play, or your defense is playing, or not holding, because every time they get the ball, they just gonna put points on the board. Mahomes, Rodgers, Brady, those guys, they make up for deficiencies of your team. If you got a weak running game, those guys can just dink and donk you all day long, and before you know it, you got 38 points on the board. That's how good they are. I ain't saying Dak on that level. I'm not saying that. But what I am saying is he ain't too far from that. He ain't too far now. Not that far. He ain't that far away. He just need a couple playoff wins, and his whole narrative. It's kind of like Matthew Stafford. Before the Super Bowl last year, nobody was with Matthew Stafford. Now all of a sudden he won the Super Bowl. Now they say he a top 10 quarterback. It turns around just that quick with winning. Win a couple playoff games, the whole narrative changed about that. That's all that need to happen. He just need to win a couple playoff games in a 1-year run. Carry the team to the championship game. Win the NFC championship game. Get to the Super Bowl. The whole narrative will change. Until that happens, we'll have this everlasting debate about how good Dak really is and how bad he really is. And nobody give Matthew Stafford credit. When from Detroit, he was throwing for 5,000 yards every year. Same arm, same everything. But it wasn't until he got with Sean McVay, and now all of a sudden it's like a light bulb came over everybody else. Like, Matthew Stafford is good. He was good all the time. Just didn't have no line. Just didn't have that type of talent. When you get that type of talent around him, he can stand back there and pose and throw the ball. What you found out is, well, it really don't make no difference what you found out. All I know at the end of the year, he had the trophy in his hand. Now he's all this. Now he got all the TV interviews. Now he's a Pro Bowler. Now he's a favorite to win. He ain't never been a favorite in Detroit. Now he won. Now all of a sudden he got the ultimate respect. That's what Dak is gonna have to do. Once he does it, hey, stuff we've been saying, some of you guys been saying about him, it's gonna go down. You ain't gonna be able to say it no more. You gotta win though. You gotta win to get it off of him. I agree with that part, but he's not trash by no means. He's not a top 15 quarterback. No, he ain't that bad. He's not a middle of the pack. He's one of these top 10 guys. Some would even argue top 8, maybe. He is one of those guys. He's stable as a quarterback. All right, ladies and gentlemen, that's it for me today. I got to go to sleep. I'm tired, and I got to wake up early in the morning and get my meditation time with God in because I have to speak in the morning. I hope you guys have enjoyed the show today. Right there on that ticker, it shows you all the ways that you can support the podcast. It's right there. Cash App is there. If you want to be a monthly subscriber, that's definitely a way you can do it. The Big Time Show 3.supercast.com. Okay. The Big Time Show 3.supercast.com. You can make a decision. Appreciate you, Steven. All you have to do is do that. You can pay whatever you want to pay. $1, $2, $3. It'll come out off your bank card a month. Whatever you want to do, you can do that, and it'll be appreciated. If not, it's all good. Follow my YouTube channel, The Big Time Show Podcast. You can do that. That won't cost you nothing. That's free. I need you to do that for me. I'm trying to build my YouTube channel up. I think I'm at 120 subscribers or something like that. 117 or something. I don't know. But trying to build it up. I would appreciate if you guys would do that. For those that do not know, I have another podcast that is totally different from sports. This is my book that I just released a few months ago. Seeking Clearer Thoughts, 60 Days of Reflection by me. There it is, Douglas L. Brooks Jr. This is my book. I have a podcast that has started off this. This is my religious podcast where I try to get people to think. It's not a preaching platform. At least I'm not trying to do that. Just trying to have a discussion about ways that we can think. Now it's based off God's word, and we'll talk about small topics. And some of the stuff comes from my book. If you're interested in getting my book, it's there. Go to Amazon. I make it real simple for you. Go to Amazon. Just type in. I don't know if y'all can see that real good, but it's there. Seeking Clearer Thought is the name of the book. 60 Days of Reflection. And if you want to make it very simple, you can type in the author name, and there's my name, Douglas L. Brooks Jr. You can put Douglas Brooks Jr. Douglas Brooks Jr. My book is going to pop up. It's on Walmart, online. It's in Barnes and Noble, as well as Amazon. You can order the book there, and of course you can ship it to you. If you want me to ship it to you personally, you can send me a cash app at $DubBrooks2. $DubBrooks2. Ship me or put in on the note section of your cash app. Put me your address there, and I will ship the book to you. Again, this is my book. It's out. Seeking Clearer Thought. There I am on the back and all that kind of stuff. Hope you would consider adding this to your personal library. All right. I have my podcast for that. It is the Seeking Clearer Thoughts podcast. That's on Thursdays at 7 p.m. Only on Thursdays at 7 p.m. However, it is on Podbean. And whenever I do that, I shoot the live link here in Facebook land. So it's not going to be on YouTube. It's not going to be nowhere else. It'll be strictly on Facebook. The link at least will be there. But you need to go to Podbean. That's a free streaming service app that you can put on there. I'm putting it in the chat for you. Go to Podbean and just search out Seeking Clearer Thoughts and follow that show. Or you can just go to the Big Time Show. You can do that as well on Podbean. That way you can hear me live when I go there. The Seeking Clearer Thoughts podcast page is when I upload the show. But if you want to hear me live, again, go to Podbean, and I'm typing this in right now. You'll notice the difference between my podcast shows. There it is, the Big Time Show. Just follow that. Go to Podbean, search out the Big Time Show, follow it. You'll be able to hear that live podcast. All right, you guys have a great rest of your Saturday evening. Hope we employ you or whatever. We will see you on Monday on the Big Time Show podcast again. We'll continue our conversations with some of the stuff that you heard tonight, and we're going to go ahead and let it go. I am tired. I really am. I am tired. But I ain't too tired to tell y'all to clap y'all hands. Y'all come on, clap your hands. Y'all know how we leave out of here. Y'all know how we leave out of here. Give me the clapping emojis going. We're going to get out of here. We'll see you Monday at 7 p.m. for the one and the only. This is, the Big Time Show.